Hey, Jax Russell here, and so begins another long Canadian winter. Great. That's fantastic. Hello, YouTube friends! Welcome to Jax Russell's Vinyl World, and in case you haven't guessed it, I'm Jax Russell. Well, it's great to be back. I had my last exam yesterday, which means I'm officially on Christmas break, and I thought I'd just take advantage this holiday season and make as many videos I can for you guys to make up for lost time. Yeah, what better time to start than right now? And I want to do something different for you guys because I feel like all I've been doing since I joined the VC, I've been doing the same thing, just updates, talking about what I picked up. And as cool as that is, I don't want to lose you guys. I don't want you guys to get bored, So I figured I'd just do different things, different topics. So I have a very cool topic for you guys today. But before I start that, I want to show off this cool book that I bought. Here it is, The Art of Metal. Super cool. I wanted to share with you guys because I know a lot of you guys out there in the vinyl community would love this. It's just an encyclopedia that goes over just different heavy metal artwork, like cover art, poster art, and it goes through like every genre you can possibly imagine. It goes through doom metal, stoner metal, new wave of British heavy metal, glam metal, death metal, black metal. I'm not a fan of those last two, but it's still cool to see all the artwork and just the imagination that's out there. It's awesome, and I've learned so much. Maybe I should turn that down. I feel like that's a little loud. Rocking out to some metal church. Yeah, so it just goes through every genre imaginable and just all the artwork and band covers and posters. It's really awesome. Like I'll just skim through so you guys can get an idea. Like I saw this at the store. This was $15 at my local chapters, and I knew I just had to have it. Like, because if there's one thing I love about music, more than the music itself, is the cover art. Like I know a lot of us associate the music to the album artwork a lot of the time. Like if you hear a song on the radio, I know myself, often I'll think of the cover, or sometimes it'll be the music video. But a lot of the songs don't have music videos, so I'll think of the artwork. And this book it picks out the best of the best, and it's super cool. And what I like about the book is that it's, as much as I've always loved artwork, this book gave me an appreciation for the artists themselves. That's the thing. I've always loved artwork, but I never really took into consideration, hey, who did that artwork? And that just shined a light on that for me. And a perfect example for that I want to show off is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I've loved this album for a very long time. I've loved the music, I've loved the artwork, but never really thought much about it. And because of that book, I found out that this artwork was done by none other than Drew Struzan. And for those of you who don't know who Drew Struzan is, he's the man responsible for a lot of classic movie posters out there. He's done like Star Wars, the Indiana Jones trilogy, the Back to the Future trilogy, the Rambo trilogy. That's all him. He's done classic movie posters out there, and not so classic like Police Academy. But I guess he did this album cover, and I didn't even know. And in that book, they just go over like how he did this picture. Like that's actually him right there. That's Drew Struzan himself, and that's him there again. Like they took many photos. Like this was one picture, and this was another picture. What he did, he put the photos together, and then eventually made this painting. And I just thought that was so cool. Like I never knew that. A movie poster artist that I've respected for a long time made, the album cover for an album that I loved. Like it's great. And another cool thing I learned from the book, obviously we all know this artwork, the band cover art for Poison's Open Up and Say Ah, which eventually they re-released with this, which is obviously less offensive. I never understood that. But no, they talk about this album cover and how, they're talking about, this wasn't Photoshop. There was no Photoshop back then. So I guess the model brought in that prosthetic tongue, and it was very uncomfortable. And, they just go through that, and just thought it was very interesting. Just they go beyond the artwork, which I thought was cool. So yeah, definitely hit up your local bookstores and check out this, The Art of Metal. Oh, and there's a foreword by Lemmy. I mean, how awesome is that? Definitely give this a look, guys. I couldn't recommend it enough. So going through that book it gave me the idea for this video, which is favorite album covers. Because because I know it's probably a topic that comes up a lot, but I've never talked to you guys about my favorite album covers. So I went through my collection and just picked some. I'm sure there's more out there. There's a lot of album covers I love that I don't have the album, unfortunately. But I went through my collection. I just picked out a bunch that I loved, and I'm going to share them with you guys. And what I want you guys to do, I want you to comment. Let me know what your favorite albums are. Or even better yet, if you want to leave a video response, that would be awesome, because I really love to hear your thoughts. So here we go. Whew, I'm already out of breath. I'm out of practice here. I haven't done a video in so long. Here we go. No specific order. I'm just going to go through these. Ted Nugent's Weekend Warriors. I remember when I first started collecting records, I found this, and I was just blown away. Like, it starts out as a guitar, turns into a gun, like, he looks badass. Like, what is this? Like, I didn't know much about Ted Nugent at this point. Like, I knew a few of his songs, but I didn't know this album, and eventually I just picked it up because I thought the cover was so cool, and I'm glad I did. It's an amazing album, but that artwork... Every time I think of Ted Nugent now, no matter what context I think of this album art, it's just so cool. Sticking with the Nugent, this is another one I love. You know, not as cool, it's not as cool as an album cover. It's not a painting or anything, but just, this is the first Ted Nugent album cover I ever remember seeing when I was a kid. I remember being at a used record store with my sister, and I saw this. And I just thought, like, wow, this guy looks crazy. And it just always stuck with me. Like, he's wearing like a Tarzan get-up, you know, just got a crazy face. I just thought it was cool. So I like this album cover because it reminds me of when I first saw it as a kid. Nazareth, No Mean City. Not much to say about this. It's just awesome. It's very like comic book feel. This was actually, I bought it, like, I didn't know much about this album. I knew who Nazareth was, I knew their hits, but none of the songs I knew are on here, so I didn't know any of the songs, but I just picked it up, total blind buy. I just thought the artwork was amazing, and it turns out that I love the album. It's a really fantastic album, but just the cover art, like this warrior monster looking dude, like just ready for war. Ready for battle. I love those old warrior looking covers. Very cool. Alright, this video wouldn't be complete without Kiss. I picked out the Dress to Kill album as one of my favorite cover albums. And I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking to yourselves, like, wow, Jax, you picked out Dress to Kill? Like, you could have picked out Destroyer or Love Gun or Rock and Roll Over. You picked Dress to Kill? Yes, I know it's not a drawing or a painting or anything like that, but there's just something about this cover I've always loved. Just the fact, you know, this is not, you gotta keep in mind, this is 1975, and just the fact that you have these dudes with like menacing makeup, but dressed all proper. I love that part of the cover art. And yeah, just that picture is so awesome. And if you knew the story behind the picture, definitely look it up. I don't want to slow down this video by talking about it, but definitely look at the story behind this picture, how it happened. Like, it's just so cool, and how Gene Simmons' suit is much too small for him. Yeah, I love it. Next up, Scorpions, Blackout. Again, like, just look at this dude. Like, you know how you look at an album cover and you just kind of make up your own context in your mind? Well, this is what happens to me. Like, to me, this guy is just like in a war of some sort in the future, like post-apocalyptic, and he's just getting shot at, and just he doesn't care. He's just firing right back. You know? That's the image I have. What were they trying to project? I don't really know, but that's what's cool about album covers. You know, you just you can make up your own little scenario, and yeah, that's my scenario for this one. It's just so cool and badass. Ramones, Road to Ruin. Again, I just love the cartoonish comic book vibe of these. This album, it almost makes them look like superheroes or something, and yeah. Very cool. This one here, oh, if I can grab it, here we go. This next one here is just a great example of how a cover art will push you to buy the album, and it's Offering by Axe. I didn't know anything about this album. I found it at a pawn shop a few years back, and my buddy and I were just looking at it, and we're like, this is awesome, but what is it? What kind of music is it? You know, there's no way to tell, and I was debating for like 10 minutes. I'm like, it could be bad, but could also be very good. And the album cover is just killer. Like, you have this Grim Reaper looking guy holding up a guitar that looks like Gene Simmons' bass. And yeah, it turns out it's a really awesome album. Good hard rock, not that heavy by any means, but still a great album. And just that cover art was good enough to push me to buy it. So yeah, Axe Operate. April Wine, The Nature of the Beast. I had to include this on here. It's just cool. You have this. I guess it's a tiger. I always thought it was a bear for the longest time, but I guess it's a tiger just rocking out of the guitar on stage. It's simple, but just awesome. And then you have the band in the back. Go Habs Go. I'm not really a hockey fan, so no haters. All right, and the next ones, I don't have these on vinyl, sadly, so I'm just going to show off my CD copies. Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. Like I mentioned before, this album is just it's very special to me because it was the first Judas Priest album I ever heard, and I just love that cover. Just like that robotic-looking bird just coming out, just ready for battle, and the background is yellow, my favorite color, so this always just drew my attention. Anthrax, Spreading the Disease. This again goes with what I was saying, that how you kind of make up your own scenario. It's just like, what's going on here? I don't know. This guy's obviously infected. You got these guys in hazmat suits. You know, what's going on? And I always thought that guy looks like Joey Belladonna, so I don't know. I love how album covers just make your mind go wild. Keeping up with Anthrax, State of Euphoria. I've always loved this album cover. I've heard of people who don't like it, but it's simple, but I think it's awesome. And again, it's yellow, so you got my vote. The Cramps, Bad Music for Bad People. It's yellow. No, seriously, this guy, just the eerie looking dude. I've actually had people tell me that this looks like an evil version of you. I was like, okay, sure, I'll take that as a compliment. But I've always loved this album cover so much so that I've actually got it on the T-shirt. I found a T-shirt of it a few years back. It's great. Big fan. Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. Not much to say about this. It's just very cool. They're obviously busting out of jail, and you got this robotic warden or something. Just like red alert, Jailbreak. Dio, Holy Diver. Again, the cover speaks for itself. It's just the imagination and work that goes behind these album covers. Oops! This next one up, this is a newer band. This album's from, like, I think 2 years ago, 2013, and it's a self-titled by Fuzz. I've always liked this cover. It's just very psychedelic, very cool. In fact, when I first heard about it, I thought it was, like, from the 70s, but no, it turns out it was brand new at the time, and yeah, I really like this band. They actually released a new album like back in October, I believe, called Fuzz 2, original, right? And which I haven't bought yet, but I've listened to it online, and it's awesome. I'm looking forward to picking up Fuzz 2. I'd like to get both of them on vinyl, actually. And the last one I'm going to talk about today is Bad Habits by The Monks. Just a cool cover. You have a nun smoking a cigarette, putting on some sexy pantyhose, and I actually never got the wordplay behind this, how I never knew that the gowns that nuns wear are called habits. So Bad Habits. It all makes sense now that I know, but for the longest time I didn't get the joke. But I just thought it was a cool album cover nonetheless. So there you have it. Just quick video of my favorite album covers. Like I said, there are more out there. There are just so many that I haven't bought yet that aren't in my collection, but I just wanted to show you my favorite of the ones that I have. Yeah, stay tuned. Like I said, I'm going to try to make more videos over the holidays. I feel very out of practice. I'm like slurring my words, but thanks for bearing with me, and stay tuned. And in case I don't see you, happy holidays. See you guys.